Good morning, traders. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump onto the charts and check out the wild ride that we are already having in these markets, make sure you read what's on the screen right here. Trading's very risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm just an idiot from YouTube yapping about trading. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content, like Top 1 Futures content, links, codes, all of that fun stuff. Now, let's hop onto the markets and take a look at where we're at. We have had a wild ride over the last couple days. This is sure to be a fun day. Well, fun, I guess, is subjective. We're going to find this out together. But I am loaded up here in my 150K instant funded account. I actually have a 3-pack of these guys loaded up, but I'm not going to copy trade right off the bat this morning. There is just so much volatility, so much uncertainty. I watched last night. We had a lot of spreads widening out, some craziness. I am on MES. I'm not going to be doing anything wild, although, as I talked about last week, I am scaling up a bit in these accounts because we've got a lot of room to work. So with that $6,000 max loss limit, we do have some room to work. So I'm going to zoom out to a higher time frame, but right off the bat, let's just take a look at news. We don't have anything coming up here this morning that I'm really worried about. Really no red folder, orange folder news. None of this stuff is concerning, so we're not going to be worried too much about red folder news events. If we zoom out to the daily here on the micro ES contract, we know what happened on Friday, right? We know what happened last week, actually, right? We had this big one last final attempt to the upside. Trump made his comments. He spoke about tariffs going into effect. We had Liberation Day, whatever we wanted to call it. Massive selling pressure into Friday. This is the April 4th candle. Massive sell-off. And then what did we have last night at the open? Big gap down and immediate selling pressure to the downside, right? So if we zoom out on a daily chart before we kind of zoom back in and just take a look at where we're at relative to everything, this is some serious selling pressure. We have had ES, I think they were saying ES in a 3-day period hasn't been down this much in I don't know how many years. So this is a very, very, very serious push to the downside. Again, we kind of did have some indication of that coming off this area. We had an attempt from buyers multiple times, but obviously we have a serious driver behind this in geopolitics, right? Pushing this to the downside. But as technical traders, let's start to read this just as what's going on the screen. We are selling off aggressively. This movement is something that happens over the course of months, weeks to months, really, right? Massive selling pressure to the downside, a lot of volatility, right? A lot of volume behind this move to the downside. So where we have overnight low, right down at this area, if I zoom out, you can see from the visible range volume profile and, this overnight low that we have, this current candle that's forming, we did tap into a serious line in the sand here, at least for the chart that I'm showing right here on this futures contract, right? Because as we start to zoom out so much, you really got to be cautious of what contract you're looking at, whether you're looking at a back adjusted chart or not, a continuous chart, all of that fun stuff. But right here, right now, this is the chart that I stay on with Project X. I don't jump around, so, I structure all of my stuff from this. We are hitting a serious line in the sand, right? So sure, we can continue down through this, but there's not a massive level of volume, insanely zoomed out, that I'd say I think we're just going to rip our face off and continue until we get here and then find some support. We kind of did that in the overnight session. So, we did that in the overnight session. So if I drop back down to the 5-minute chart, we can look at the last few days. Obvious massive selling pressure to the downside. We can see the open up gap down, right? Here is the movement. We can see session changeover. Here was the opening candle from Sunday, yesterday evening. And we saw what happened, overnight. We really didn't continue to just sell off, obviously. The low of that open was the overnight low. And now we've since just drifted back and forth across VWAP. But one thing I want to point out to you guys is this is a lot of movement. This is a ton of movement. Look at the point and tick range that we're seeing right here. So what does that mean, right? It's not to be scared or you can't trade or whatever it is. This is just a lot of volatility, and it's going to call for sizing down considerably and really being cautious of where you're placing your stop and target, right? Because if you're trading, for example, let's say you trade, 1 or 2 minis today. If you structure your trade the same way from a price action and market structure point of view, it's going to be like trading, multiples of that, 2-3 times that. So what does it call for? Maybe dropping to micros, dropping down to, reducing your size, widening out stops and targets so you can trade along with this and handle the volatility. Really right off the bat, the only thing I see on this is just to get short, just to try to get short right now, and hang on for the move to the downside, for the continuation of the downside. I'm not going to pull that just yet. I didn't do anything wild, last night. I'm not going to do anything wild into the morning. I'm going to wait to see what happens here. If we have any type of buying pressure that steps in to try to maybe clear out shorts that are already short to the downside, to clear out some of this from pre-market. But we did pull up here, get close to closing this gap. And that might be all we have to do, right? Like, I don't know that we are going to come and check this area out. I really don't think we do. So we are down below VWAP. We're down below New York VWAP. I'm running that as well, just for a little bit more perspective, since we are so far, selling off from a higher time frame perspective. I could see this short to the downside right here, right now, headed back down towards overnight low. Looking on... Yeah, Bookmap is looking wild today, guys, as well. Bookmap is looking really, really odd. The algos are, like, all over the place. They're kind of like, looks like it's like widened out a lot. Like, they don't have the normal liquidity bands really close to Bookmap. They're flashing back and forth all over the place. I'll show you this in a minute, but I want to keep my candlestick chart up in front of me, at least on ES. And the book looks extremely thin on NQ. Extremely thin, meaning there is just not a lot of orders right here, right now, relative to what you're usually looking at. It just looks very, very light. Seems to be that orders are coming on and off the book quickly, but Bookmap is also showing that, yeah, we are in some uncharted waters here. But this is massive selling pressure. And the other piece to be aware of here, guys, really important, again, with that volatility, with this massive selling pressure, comes an increased risk of slippage, spreads widening out, and fills being very, very poor, especially as we get close to price limits. We're not there yet. I think if I pull this up and look at the quotes with you guys, we are down about 4% on the day on ES and NQ on the contracts that I'm looking at. Those are just the mini contracts, just as a frame of reference. If you're on Top Step, as you know, past 5%, no trading. If you're on any other firm or just a real account, live account, 7% is the actual circuit breaker that's going to halt trading. The big reason you don't want to be trading near that is if you are in a position as that gets halted, which I have not experienced personally myself, so I can't say this from experience, but the protocol there is when it opens back up, you don't know where that price is going to open up, and it can be a large gap or change in price from the time that it locks to the time that it opens back up, and that can cause an outsized loss, a massive outsized loss. So while I think we're going to see a lot of big green P&Ls, across social media, I think you're also going to see a lot of blown accounts with people trying to trade this and just not handling the volatility appropriately. So again, be cautious. There's plenty of people, I think, that are just kicking back with their feet up. They're not going to try to touch this. It is very volatile. I'm going to look to trade it. But again, I'm going to accept the risk. I'm going to accept that if I throw a stop right here, for example, we may rip through that very quickly, and I may experience, 5-10 points of slippage, right? That can happen really, really quickly. It's just something you have to recognize during periods of extreme volatility. And when the market is moving extremely fast, you are not guaranteed to fill at whatever price, whatever stop loss you have. That does not mean that that's going to get filled at that price. Again, not common in the futures market. We get very, very good fills, but during periods like this, you're going to see people complain about platform issues. You're going to see people complain about the broker screwing them. all of these things. And I think it's just because massive volatility and trading near price limits as we're going to start to approach them. So I'm tempted to take this short, guys, just to start trying this thing. We have a big stack of orders at 905. That's what's keeping me out so far. But we were down below VWAP, down below New York VWAP. We just retested it. I think a pullback up to this area could have been in store. Was just starting to eyeball this to the downside, but we do have a big stack of orders right here, 905. But we have more and more piling up on the book down below, so I'm tempted to try this. That was a shot right there. That was an opportunity right here. Get short on that for the breakout. Stop loss right above this level. Just look for a continuation to the downside. But again, I'm gonna wait. Right, we got all day. I'm gonna hang out. I want to trade this. I don't want to be involved in a crazy wick back and forth if I don't have to be. Doesn't look like we're getting that though. We just have sellers getting ready to take this thing continually lower. So coming into liquidity down to the downside as well. Wow, man. Yeah, this is pretty gnarly. Appreciate you guys hopping on there. Hopping on here. Good morning. Good morning. Smash like, smash subscribe. Again, I am on my Top 1 Futures Project X instant funded account here, the 150K account. Link is in the chat. Link is all over the place if you want to check that out. 50% off and entry to win one of 5 50K eval accounts. But I am focused up. Yeah, man, this was a good break to the downside. Just a really low time frame kind of pullback and movement. I'm not going to jump in on this now. It would be a really late entry. This was it right here as we started to break this low. Stop loss just above this level, but it was just a little bit early for me. I'm going to try to find a way in, but again, I got to have some way to structure risk. That's going to be my game plan. This is a lot, right? We're talking, we're talking 170 ticks, right? Just to this level. If I trade 1 micro, what's the math on that? 170 times 1.25. Talking $200 worth of risk on 1 micro from this point to this point, just on the 1 minute chart, 43.5 points. It's gnarly, man. So structure your trades, guys. Do your math. Make sure you understand the position size that you're putting on. But again, I'm going to keep risk pretty low relative to what I'm, what I know I say that a lot, but I'm okay putting on, let's say up to $1,000 worth of risk on these types of accounts, these larger accounts. But I'm going to keep it pretty low today, and I'm mitigating risk because while I'm going to normally copy trade these accounts, I'm not going to copy trade this morning. If I have something go crazy wrong, a crazy candle, some insane volatility comes in, which can happen, and I take an outsized loss, I hit a DLL or something, it happens on 1 account, not 3. So yeah, so just watching a little bit of a pullback and maybe some continuation on the downside. I'll show you what I'm looking at on Bookmap here, guys. I do have Bookmap up back and running. I was talking about that on Friday. I didn't have Bookmap up and running. That was my fault. It was just my subscription, so I had to hit them back up and get that squared away. But here's what I'm looking at. Huge stack of orders up here at 905. That is what kept me out. Honestly, I just wasn't paying as much attention also, but as we started to break right here to the downside, that came on the book. That's pretty dicey to trade away from. So not too mad about not getting short ahead of that. So we'll see if we pull back up, maybe fill that, but I don't know. And to the downside, we just have more and more and more orders stacking up. This is the algorithmic BS liquidity. This is algorithmic BS liquidity. But here's what I'm talking about. It just looks funky, man. It's not like it's staying on. It's nowhere near price. It's way widened out. There we go, pulling back up to this area. So I'm going to watch this on the candlestick chart with you guys. Here we go. Can we trade out the 05s? Yep. There we go. Filling right there. Yeah, it looks like it. We got some volume traded there. Now, do we start to turn and burn, continue to the downside, or are we going to come back up and check out VWAP? This is the area of high volume. 1 minute chart is pretty is pretty zoomed in for today, but I want the granular view, so I'm going to try to run it. But if I zoom out like this, right around VWAP, if this can ever reset. Yeah, right around VWAP here for the 1 minute chart is going to be that area of high volume. So I think I'd like to wait for a retest of this area, maybe a crack above. You know, this is a big movement, but on today, I think we could see it happen. And then some really aggressive selling pressure to step back in, and then maybe look for a continuation of the downside. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I don't want to try to find the bottom in this market. I'd wait for some serious market structure and price action before trying to do that. That first one wouldn't have even paid a 1-to-1. So good deal on staying out. But here we are back above New York VWAP. I'm interested to see what happens around this level. Again, as I zoom out, the volume profile, this is going to adjust because I'm really zoomed in, but we got a lot of volume right around this area, into the 30s, 40s, right around this VWAP. Pretty serious line in the sand. If we turn back to the downside at or around this level, even from right here, and we see a lot of selling pressure step in, I'm going to look to start shorting it and throw a stop above this level. I think this may be the movement to the downside, obvious direction, all the way from higher to lower time frames showing, and buyers pulling it back up, taking everybody out that was getting short on this, shorting off the lows, and now we're getting ready to continue. That's my play. I'm going to look to short this market because we're ripping our faces off to the downside. Higher time frame and just kind of general speculation, I think we could see some chop here, right? I think we could just chop around this level back and forth. We obviously did not make a decision overnight after opening up to the downside. We could certainly chop back and forth. We can come back up here and fill this gap, right? That's plenty on store today. But again, if we pull back like this, trade above the 930 open, because we do have our 15-minute opening range. We swipe that 15-minute opening range high that's right here, and then we start to sell off really aggressively. I'm going to look short. So here we go. Pulling back up to this area. Really aggressively short now is a play as well. Really aggressively short. This market's just moving so damn fast that I don't know about that. Could start trying it, but that'd be pretty dicey. But appreciate you guys hopping on, man. Wild market. Again, if you hopped on late, my non-financial advice, non-suggestion, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an idiot from YouTube here. My comments are what I am doing is being cautious today. I'm recognizing there's a massive increase in volatility. These 1 minute candles are moving very, very fast. Either drag your tool out like this or get an ATR on your chart. Understand a way to measure volatility. Size down, structure your trades. And along with that, recognize we are, during periods of very high volatility like this in any market, you're at an increased risk of spreads widening out, slippage, gaps in price, and that means potentially taking outsized wins or losses, right? That's just you're at risk of really crazy fills, and it's not a platform or broker or prop firm issue so much as that's the market that we're in, right? It's not something to worry about when we're kind of just calm, cool, chilling out. But just like if you're trading NFP or an FOMC conference, you get slipped, a dozen points like nothing on NQ. When you get a news candle print like that. So be cautious of that for sure, for sure. So what's going on, guys, in the chat? Wolf, what's up? Hat trick 5% days. Yeah, man. Usually trade 3 to 5 micros. Sizing down would be man. One micro. What's up, guys? Brian, what's up? Good morning to all. What's going on? John, Brian, Wolf, Ryan, what's happening? Average session range, low. Yeah, Brian, it's a good level to look. I don't know that we're gonna respect levels today, right? These types of days get wild, man, really wild. Where I think volume can be important, and looking at these levels can be important, but the market can move quickly. So, I'd be cautious. Really aggressively buying or selling off of levels as well. And if you're going to, again, size accordingly and widen out, So I'm interested to see what happens right here around VWAP. I want to read more of the chat, but we are above VWAP now, above New York VWAP.
tinker and sweat the small stuff.
Oops, sorry.
Because
Above VWAP now. I'm cautious to see, do we come and check this area out? That's totally cool. You know, we're coming through this kind of middle ground of high volume here. Looks like we want to come and check this area out, and then I want to see what happens. Do we start to see aggressive selling pressure start to bring us really, really far back down above below VWAP? I may try it to the downside, but now I'm in wait and see here, right? We got a pullback for sure. If you were trying it aggressively off of this level, I probably wouldn't be feeling too good right now, which is why I didn't want to try it. Market's just moving too fast. You know, we in a blink of an eye, we're 30 points, 125 ticks above VWAP here in ES. So I'm cautious. We got a retest of these lows. This level right here, it's pretty nice, right? Above this area of high volume. We come back down through this. It's going to give me a way to structure risk to the downside. So I would try that to the downside. Conversely, we start to just rip everybody's face off to the upside. I'm not getting long. I'm going to hang out until we get a lot more structure and I have some way to structure risk to the upside. That's my game plan here. It's my tentative game plan. It's going to change quickly. I'm going to exercise discretion. You know, if stuff is just not looking or feeling right, I'm going to be, risk averse here. So that's my play, guys. Same stuff as any other day, just probably like a micro or two, here on the 150K account, and not copy trading all three that I've got loaded up. So I'm mitigating risk that way. Ask yourself how you might want to be able to try to capitalize on some movement while not, putting all your eggs in one basket and trying to trade a wild day. So far, buyers not taking our foot off the gas here to the upside. Yeah, book's looking a little bit thicker up here on ES. No massive stack of orders on the book, but we do have some liquidity all the way up to like the 25s, 50 25s. You can see it all the way up kind of through this area of high volume. I don't know that we get there. I think this could be a retest of this area and an aggressive move back to the downside. Even just a move back down towards testing VWAP. Gnarly bars on 15-minute chart, man. Yeah, we're getting 100-point bars. That's pretty wild. Zoom back out. Sorry for being twitchy here with the charts. Maybe today's best psychology, a little more than technicals. Everybody knows the market is going down. The market has a nasty habit of not doing whatever. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. It does have a pretty nasty habit. It loves to not do the obvious thing, right? Loves to not do the obvious thing. Man, I like this for a short back to VWAP. I really like this for a short back to VWAP here, guys. A really aggressive one. We come down and break that prior bar low. I might take it short. Just for a quick crack right through this area of low liquidity, of low volume here, right back towards a test of VWAP. I could see that coming up. We are coming up on the 10 a.m. time frame, an hourly close. That could be a little bit dicey. I'm not going to jump in right off the bat, but I could see this again just for a quick short right back down through this level. But so far, no. Yeah, so far, no. Nope. Buyers not taking their foot off the gas. Just right in the time of me saying that, 20 points higher. This is gonna be fun, guys, for sure. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, 49.95. We've got about 130 on the book right up here. Looks like we might go and tag that. Yeah, man. Buyers stepped right back in off of these lows, back above VWAP. Really no retest. You can see how tight this is trending on a 1 minute chart. On a 5 minute, obviously this is just, you know, straight bars to the upside. Nothing really trading below prior bar low. We had that here, but this is really pushing to the upside. Again, I am obviously considering the higher time frame perspective as I'm looking short and considering shorts. But this one would be a retest of VWAP, retest of this area of high volume here, which if I zoom out, we have the big stack of volume right around this level here. But first we got 95s to go clear on Bookmap. Tag that and then turn. I might give it a shot. Might rip my face off and just continue this move to the upside, but it would be a crack above VWAP, filling a whole bunch of volume up, filling a whole bunch of orders up here, really not having much left on the book. We came through all of it, and then a look to retest VWAP here, or just at least back down to this area, grab some profit to the downside. Would be very counter to this immediate move to the upside here. But I think even if we are going to continue higher, a retest. Okay, so we came through that, so now let's see what happens. Trading out the big round psychological number right here. Yep, no, I'm hands off now. Hands off, at least for right now. This is a fast moving market, guys. Yeah, be cautious. Big push back up to the upside. Did not take our foot off the gas at all. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to do much right now, guys. I'm hanging tight. This thing is just continuing to the upside. I'm not going to try to step in front of 1 minute candles or really anything here off of a level. I'm going to flow with the movement. This is a day where it's going to be really difficult, in my humble opinion, to be a reversal trader and be shorting a market that's pushing to the upside. I think I'm really going to want to flow with the immediate movement of price action today. Wow. Yep, just continuing to push to the upside here, coming up out of this area of high volume, back towards overnight high with some force. Looks like we might want to go and fill this gap. My idea, short back to VWAP, you know, out of this area of high volume right here, as we filled some orders all the way up at this 95 level and potentially was looking for a pullback down. Not getting that yet. Not getting that at all. Sell off at the open. Really, really strong crack back up to the upside now. Buyers not taking their foot off the gas just yet. Yep, right through big round psychological number. Looks like we might want to come back down and check that out. That's some selling pressure and some volume stepping in right here after the this final push to the upside. yeah, here's my reaction back to the downside right here, right now. This thing is just turning on dimes, huh? I'm watching what happens up here for potential short, guys. See, we go trade out the big round number again. Getting short on this, guys, from up here. I'm going to jump in with 2 micros. Nothing crazy. 400 some odd bucks worth of risk. I like that we pulled back up, saw a rejection right at the big round number, 5,000. I'm looking at this short back to VWAP, maybe at least cracking back down through this level of high volume. This could be a pretty quick trade. I'm going stop right above this high. If we come back up on this, I am out. Not going to hold on to this all day. You know, this is just going to be a quick move back down to this area of high volume, maybe a crack below. Could come right back up on me. Again, I am short on this immediate push to the upside here, but I'm flowing with this movement right back down to the downside. But yeah, we got a lot of liquidity that I'm trading against, and not as much to the downside. So we'll see. I'm trying it short after a pullback up all the way to these highs. So we'll see how this one plays. Ooh, a lot of volume right back up to the upside. Looks like I'm going to be on the wrong side of this one for sure. Well, not for sure. We're going to watch. Again, I like this for a move back down to this area, and if I zoom out on the 5-minute, a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume to return down to all the way down here, just the middle of this consolidation. If we are going to break out to the upside, I could see this coming back down first to take everybody out that started to get long on this all the way up here. So I do like it that way as well. But we're going to see if this one pays, or if I'm going to have to take the first stop. So short 2 from 4,990 and 3/4. Stop at 5,029 and 1/4. Targeting a move back down to an area of high volume, looking at the visible range volume profile. But we had buyers step right back in off those lows, and again, really not taking their foot off the gas. We break that structure back to the upside, or we just continue moving to the upside. We get back above that, you know, these 1-minute bar highs, 5-minute bar highs. You know, I'm wrong on this one. Looks like we want to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. Getting our trades on, we'll put them on, we'll let them play out. That's all we can do. Yeah, I like to move right back down to this area and maybe just a crack below. Something that I probably wouldn't have to hold all the way to VWAP, but somewhere just down in between this area. We just didn't get continuation. Just did not get continuation on this one. Looks like we want to come back through these highs, and we do have some that's now coming on the book at 25, at 30. Looks like we got more sell orders that we want to go tag, maybe through the 50s up there. So waited for the this big, you know, V-shaped recovery to start to end. Was looking to jump into this to the downside very quickly, right? Not really waiting for a bunch of structure to form to the downside. To just trade this back towards VWAP, back towards these areas of high volume. But I don't think we're grabbing that. Looks like we're at least going to break to the upside, maybe come check out overnight high, fill this gap, go tap Friday's low before we do that. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, appreciate you guys being on, man. Smash the like button, smash subscribe. If you're trading this, be cautious. Be aware that, you know, your fill, if you have a stop in, may not be that number today, right? We are dealing with a lot of volatility, a lot of volume, very fast-moving market. Spreads are real. Gaps in price are real. You do not have to get filled at the level that, you know, that you have an order in for. Market's going to move, you know, very quickly today, so be cautious of that. Be very cautious of that. Not dead in the water just yet on this one. We got some sellers trying to take this thing lower. That was a lot of buying pressure that stepped right back in. But again, if we come back above this high, I do think we're either going to wick above here pretty gnarly. I'm not going to be able to put on, you know, more risk than this. But I do think we return back down to this level, if not VWAP. You know, ES loves to come back to the areas of high volume before it really does anything. So I'm trading from the extreme in the direction of the higher time frame trend. I just don't know if buyers are going to need to take this thing higher. Maybe we are going to move back down, and if we are on some real force, good potential that we crack above this and we come and fill these orders. So we can still go either way here. Yeah, not coming through this low yet. Again, this is not something that I'm going to hold for a massive move to the downside today, anything like that. Just the first trade, crack back through this area of high volume, come and retest these lows. It's a decent level of structure as well, right? You know, right off this area that was tested multiple times. It's kind of above VWAP, but we need sellers to put their foot on the gas here and bring us lower. Sorry, guys. I know I'm being twitchy with charts. It's just this is a fast-moving market. It's difficult to keep a handle on where the hell we are from a higher time frame perspective. Yeah, I think we're going to see some decisions get made up here. Zooming out, resetting VWAP again. I'm going to throw something in just as a safety precaution here in case we cracked lower really, really aggressively. I'd like to not be out of it, but I don't know that I would hold all the way down towards VWAP or lower, all the way down through this level. I'd like to see sellers bring this thing lower, but I just don't know that we're gonna get it, man. We're hanging out around this area. I got to stop right above these highs. Yeah, I think this is gonna be it, unfortunately. Again, leaving it on because market's moving. You know, I need to trust my stop. Leave it where it is. There we go. Stopped out 385 on the first one. Buyers taking it higher, back above 5-minute bar, 1-minute bar highs, ripping to the upside. Going to check out overnight high. Sellers not able to take this thing lower. There we go. Decision getting made to keep moving it higher. And here's what we're dealing with today, guys. Immediate 50-point, 60-point bars in. Oh, we got a frozen chart. There we go. Big push to the upside. Continuing. Going to close the gap. Going to check out prior day low. Buyers on. In control now. Bringing this thing way, way higher. Holy hell, man. Yeah, this is a wild ride, guys. Wild ride. There we go. 100 points higher in just under a minute here from that movement to the upside. Wow. There you go. Let's jump out to the 5-minute. This is just too fast on the 1 minute. Way too fast. Ripping to the upside, straight out of this area of volume. Just a tiny pullback. No continuation back down to VWAP. No continuation to the downside. Pushing back all the way up. Going to check out past prior day's low. Going to check out value area low from Friday. Going to check out the point of control, looks like, potentially from Friday. Massive push to the upside. Yeah, just a gnarly market, man. This is going to be really fun. Really fun. Threw everything that was on the book to the upside. I don't have a setup on this now. I'm going to hang out and kind of see where we go from here. Very, very, very volatile. Fun stuff, though. Very fun stuff. What's up, guys in the chat? Jess, Kim, Wolf, John. Hit my PT on, straight funded, day 3 locked up. Very nice, very nice. NQ trying to sustain above pre-market high. Let's see how that'll go. Up 1,000 on tops of XFA. Very nice, very nice. Yep. Yeah, no, obviously does not do the most obvious thing. You know, obviously, like we had on Wednesday last week, everybody said, you know, Liberation Day, Tuesday, Wednesday, we were looking for a move to the downside. All day on Wednesday, market pushes to the upside, and then finally market closes, and we sell off ridiculously to the downside. You know, market opens up, it's choppy, we eventually move to the downside. So yeah, the market is typically not going to do the obvious thing. And then sometimes when you finally do get the movement and you say, hey, I think now we're going to do the obvious thing, it goes even way further than you could ever expect. So, but that's the nature of the market. Just you know, obviously, if it was easy to work with, we would all be, we probably wouldn't be here right now. We'd just be hanging out and, you know, clicking a couple buttons. But massive push to the upside. We have a 200 plus 5-minute bar printing here on a lot of volume in ES. Huge push to the upside across US indices. Absolutely insane. Looking at Bookmap for NQ, there's no liquidity up here. I've never seen it like this. Never. There's next to no liquidity outside of orders that are just getting thrown and taken off the book. It's absolutely insane. It's completely dark. Absolutely insane. ES still has some. It's very thin, but outside of just big orders that kind of come on and come off quickly. Insane movement out of this market, but fun stuff. I'm happy to be on here. Happy to be trading it. I had to take that first one short. I'm looking for just to move back down. That one obviously did not play nice with me, but I'm cool with that. Low risk, keeping it controlled, one account. We'll see if we get another setup. I don't know on this one. This may be a have to wait and see, man. Just wait for some of this to start to actually die down. Outside of taking it off a level, man, this is a really, really gnarly movement. But I'm gonna hang out with you guys, kind of see what happens from here. It's too fun not to watch. I'm gonna be in front of the charts today, so we're gonna see what we can do. Yeah, this is wild, man. Wild looking. Yeah, this is absolutely insane, guys. Through prior days, volume point of control, going to check back out value area high. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. We are now almost 400 points off of the lows. There we go. Approaching 400 points off of the lows of the session here. Looking at a 5-minute chart, it looks like I'm trading a 20-second chart. It's absolutely insane. We are through prior day's low and headed back towards prior day high. If we take a look on the daily chart, just to zoom out and now see the daily candle that's forming on this, absolutely insane movement. I'm guessing maybe there's some conversations going on. There's something fundamental behind this type of a move, but I don't think there has to be. We just saw so much movement, and now we are getting the massive correction here for NYSE session after a massive continuation overnight. Gap down, gaps filled, pushing back up, trading back towards the high of Friday. Insane movement out of this market. This is really feeling like try to flow with it on a 1 minute chart. Really just trade momentum, but I'm not going to go trying anything too wild. I'm going to leave this on the 5 minute because I probably have to go to a 15 minute because I could hardly see where we're at relative to to Friday's price action. But here we go, coming to trade above the highs of the session, which is right here, the 53.14.50. But through all of the regular trading session hour volume profile, when I look at value area high, volume point of control, and value area low, wild, man, absolutely wild, absolutely wild. I'm gonna wait to see where we go from here. I'm looking for trades, but this is gnarly. That was the first one before this insane volatility. I thought this was pretty wild, but we had. I didn't know that one was coming. That was absolutely wild. Figure we might see something like that to the downside, but big push back up to the upside. Big push back up to the upside. So let's see where we go from here, man. Fun stuff. Very fun stuff. Figured we were going to get a wild ride today. Again, exercise caution, guys, if you're trading this. Exercise caution for sure. Market is moving fast. Zach, let's see. Traded my XFA. Brave enough. Very nice. Very nice. I'm not 47. Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Very happy to hear that. Going. NQ crossed. Trying to resistance for prior to 50%. Yes, it's touch it. Others are reporting data issues in their platforms. Be careful. Yeah. Yep. Again, guys, I think you're going to see hear a lot of crazy issues, and it's most likely not the platform or the broker or the prop firm. It's the market. The market's going to do wild things. There's no liquidity up here unless it's coming back on the book. Look at this. I don't know if any of you guys ever watch a DOM or current order book. This is insane for NQ. There's nothing up here. It's extremely thin. ES doesn't look nearly as bad. We actually have some orders on the book, but look at the black chart with almost zero liquidity that we're looking at here on NQ. So this is going to generate wide spreads and a lot of quick movements without good fills. That's really what I would anticipate from that. Looking here on ES, more sell orders to the upside. I'm going to zoom out without trying to break bookmap. Some big orders down below. I'm zooming out so I can get really far zoomed out view. Yeah, all the way down to 47.50 again. We got a lot on the book. That would be crazy if we pulled all the way back up here, then started to come back down, try to get back down through lows. I don't know that we see that, but I'm not going to make any higher time frame calls right now. NQ, negative 6% pre-market to 4% market hours. Yeah, if you're not permitted to trade above the 5% too, I guess. Correct. Yeah, and congrats, doing really well. That's awesome. Happy to hear that. Got someone in chat that's crushing it. I always love to hear that. This could be an absolutely wild movement, guys. I'm gonna throw a thought out here. We see an insane movement to the upside, take everyone out short, and we just absolutely dump to the downside. This could get really wild, really wild. Yeah, we are back to essentially flat on the day, right? If I'm looking at the quotes, ES right around 0% change, NQ near the 1% to the upside. This is a wild movement, really wild movement. Insane NYSE open. This is one of the most volatile non-news type deals that I've seen, and if we come back down through and completely erase this, it would certainly be absolutely wild. But I could see it happening, right? We're just dealing with really big market structure. So, you know, what looks normal day over day coming into today is just not going to look normal. So, you know, a 15-minute chart, this could be a pullback up to this area of high volume, you know, right? Looking at the volume profile. If we get this to reset, there we go. Trade through this and then continue all the way back down, come back down towards VWAP, back down towards the lows of the session. It's going to be some really difficult to trade structure, right? Like, how do you get in on this risk-wise? But that's what it looks like we're about to do right now. That's what we're doing right now. All the way back down to prior day's low. Yeah, guys, I'm on Project X with Top 1 Futures. This is the straight to fund at 150K. So far, everything for me is working correctly. But again, we have insane movement out of the market. This to me, I don't think is going to be platform issues for anybody. I think this is going to be, wow, man, here we go, selling right back off. I want this short again. I really do. I can't get a stop above this. I don't know what to do here. 1,000 tick stop loss. I can't take that. But this looks like we might sell back off, man. You can tell that I like trading. I'm genuinely enthusiastic even after taking a stop. It's just absolutely insane. This is an insane movement. All the way back down through prior day's low, back to overnight high. I don't know why we turn on a dime here. Here we go. Fresh 5-minute bar opening up. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. I'm going to watch this on a 1-minute chart. Absolutely insane. Yeah, guys, I'm assuming that a lot of, I see someone said 6 minutes ago, Trump was thinking on pause tariffs for 90 days. That was the news. Trump didn't talk to me personally. Yeah, ATR numbers are crazy. Jess is waiting for longs. Even one micro. Yeah, 1/10 of micros. Yeah, this is tough to structure risk on, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. You know, a 5-minute chart, you might, you know, normal 5-minute chart, you know, structure would be like maybe a stop above the prior bar high. You're like from the lows, right? If you were selling off these lows, you're like 150 point stop loss in ES. So just absolutely nuts, man. But yeah, back to that point. I'm going to trade the chart in front of me, but I'm assuming there's a lot of comments coming from the powers that be in the US. Market starts moving like this. You know, maybe they're going to try to calm everybody down. Things are going to continue to happen, but market's just volatile. Very, very volatile based on what's going on, based on the movement itself. All right, like let's see what talking heads are saying. They were calling it a collapse this morning. I haven't seen that. Haven't seen that word in a while. CNBC had talking about the futures market selling off during the stock market collapse, something along those lines. But now they got the headline: Dow turns positive. Dow turns positive. S&P rises in massive reversal from steep losses on Monday. Not so much. They're late. Update it, guys. Trump advisors feud with each other over tariffs. Live updates. So looks like they can't figure out what to do. I'm tempted on this short with a stop just above this level, just because I have a tiny bit of structure to trade off of here, for a continuation back to this area of high volume. I'm going to try this short, guys. I'm going to try this short with a stop right above this level. This is going to be probably my second and only trade. I'm going to look for volatility to continue to the downside, see if we can't get back down towards this area of high volume. I'm trading with this immediate trend. We have a tiny break and retest back to the downside after a huge push up, a huge push back down. I'm going to have some fun with you guys on this one. We'll see if we can't grab some quick profit. Probably somewhere down here would be nice if we can come and tap this level. We got overnight high to come back down into. We may find some buyers right here and wick right back up. If I take an L on this one, I'm probably going to call it for the morning. But we'll see if we can't get back into some profit here. Showing me immediately immediately 300 bucks of profit, immediately 30 40 points in my direction, 150 ticks, 35 points. We'll see if we can get a push back down to this area of high volume. Watching bookmap to the downside. I'm talking like a racehorse person because it's so damn fast. Yeah, down towards the 500, the 5,000 level could see it. Let's see if we can get a push. Finding some support at overnight high. I'm going to manage this one quickly, guys. So if you're watching it, go, feel free, but I'm going to manage this one quickly. I'm going to take it off when it's 10:30 close. I'm going stop to break even. We could see some quick volatility, and I don't want to get my stop run and see some big slippage. But we do have some liquidity to the downside. I want to see a push through. I'm being protective on this one. Stop to break even. Again, I talk about not doing that often. But here we go. I want to see a push down through the 20s would be nice. Grab some quick profit on this thing. Yeah. Keep it going. Let's see. I'm going to join bid out of one right there. I could see back down to the 5,000s, but I don't know that we're going to get that move. Finding some buyers. Look like we want to come and check this area out again. But I'm out of one there for not exactly sure how much profit. Brought me back to 166, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll see if we can get a final push through. Protective stop. Stop at break even. Risk-free trade. Yeah, I'm going to leave it on to break even or for the remainder of this one. Again, I was in 2 micros there, took one off. I want to see a crack back down towards this level. Ooh, boatload at 520. Big orders at 520. I'm probably only going to hang till that level if we push back down lower. We had a lot down at the 5,000 level. Yeah, looks like I'm going to take the stop on the remainder of this. Okay. So what was I? Well, let's see what I did there. Not a whole lot, but in and out for a win. 385, it was something like that, guys. Minus 156 now. 229 bucks. I took one off as we were finding some support down there. This still looks okay. It's just too volatile right around 1030. I think we come back down into this area. I might try this again. I just want to watch what happens. Maybe we sweep this high, pull back up, and continue the downside. Not bad management on that one. Could have took the whole thing off for a win and be back down in profit, but I'm happy with that. Break even. Yeah. Again, guys, I'm going to try to be risk averse on this, right? Like, I'm going to be a little bit more protective. I'm probably going to take partials quick. I'm going to take profits quick. I'm going to go stop loss to break even. You know, on a normal day, I talk about not doing that. Market's too volatile. It's moving too quickly. I'm going to trail stops. I'm going to try to, you know, be protective on that initial risk. Again, I'm keeping it low here, right? We're grabbing a couple micros, you know, on this account. I just have to recognize that, let's say I put that trade on, we could have turned on a dime and, you know, somebody says something about tariff, rip my face off. And not only do I realize whatever that full stop is, I get slipped for a few $100, right? Like, that could happen. So, yeah, break even is acting to my style. Yeah, Wolf, on a day like this, you know, again, I adjust a little bit, guys. I don't want to say that I do something so different, but if you're going to trade this, you can't do what you do on a normal day. This is not the same as, you know, 2 weeks ago. This is not the same. Look at the daily chart, right? So I think you have to be cautious about when we talk about this, right? You can't be doing something completely different every day. Otherwise, you're not applying any consistency in the markets and you're never going to see consistent results. But at the same time, if you're not adapting and adjusting to this market right here compared to this market right here, you're going to be in trouble, right? If you're running fixed stops, fixed targets, you know, the way that you manage your trades is the same. I think you're going to do great in one and you're going to get absolutely cooked in another. So, you know, I adapt a little bit. I'm discretionary. I'm cautious. Here we go. That would have been a full stop, right? You know, we did not come all the way down into this area. We checked it out, but that would have been a full stop there. I still like this short to the downside. I'm tempted to take it again. I really am. Yeah, we're going to come back down to that area high volume. Moving quickly. I'm tempted on this short again. Yeah, that moved too quickly. This was it, right here. I think we're coming back down to this area. I'd be surprised if we didn't come and trade the 5,000s out before we moved higher. That looks like a sweep above prior bar high and then a continuation to the downside to come and trade this out. Come and check out VWAP. That's just too wide for me, man. Damn, that one happened quick. That was VWAP's not in the right spot here, guys. That was just too quick for me. That's the same trade, being protective on the first one. That one just happened too quick and it's moving without me. Damn. Yep. Same trade, pullback and continuation of the downside, especially after sweeping prior bar high. I think we come down through the 5,000s. Here we go. Damn, that would have been nice. From up here, right? Just selling right into this selling pressure. But that became that even just a prior bar close, like a 1 minute bar close. Now I'm looking at, you know, 300 ticks. If I'm trading 2 micros, do the math. I could almost do it in my head. Yeah, now I got to put $750 worth of risk on. That's just too heavy. Now I'm holding for, you know, 80 points, which is all the way down through this level. Damn, that was it though. That was another one right there. Shit. Yep. Down towards the 5,000s. All right, let's see where we go from here. Yeah, guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab some water. I'm gonna take a breather. This is an intense market to trade, but I'm not going anywhere yet. We're hanging out. $156 down, not bad. Coming back from a one loss, 1 win. Partials on the win and final take profit not hit. The remainder stopped to break even. So you know, we'll see what we can do. But I'm gonna take a second. This thing might start to dump though. Be right back, guys. Yep, there we go to the downside. That looked good. Unfortunately, this woman at bar just moved very fast, very fast. But that's the continuation of the downside. This is really interesting now. So here comes my question, as is everybody's. Where do we go from down here, boys and girls? Do we sweep these highs, take out everybody that got short, and continue through the lows? Do we just come back down to this area, check out the area of high volume, and then continue? Do we chop here and put an indecisive type of daily bar in? What are we going? Because right, yeah, that's what I figured. We're at an indecision here. Where are we going to go from here, guys? What do you? I'm gonna throw a poll in the chat. If we start selling off quickly, I'm gonna sell into this. That could be a massive move to the upside, take everyone out, and then a continuation lower. We're back down at the area of high volume here, so I want to be a little bit cautious. I might have to go side by side with like a 5 and a 15. I can't swap back and forth as much. But this is absolutely insane. Appreciate you guys still being on here with me. I'm gonna keep trading, man. We're gonna watch how this thing opens up. That was wild movement. Starting to get a feel. This was pretty clean to the downside. I missed a move as we started to come back down through this after sweeping that high. Just wasn't quick enough. Could have put on 50 some odd points worth of risk and taken it back down to the 5,000 evens that I was looking at, right into this area of high volume near VWAP. That looked clean. We'll see if we get another setup. But yeah. Let's see. ES didn't have orders from on the Dom NQ. Yeah. Yep. Came back to fill. Trump backer billionaire Bill Ackman calling for 90 pause on tariffs. Was that fake news on the EU stuff? Anybody know? Don't know, guys. Let's see what's pulling up. Yeah, we're continuing back down towards VWAP on this right now, guys. White House says fake news that Trump is considering 90-day pause. Live updates. So I usually am not looking at news, but just because we're talking about it, again, I'm going to trade the chart in front of me. Technically, this looks like we're coming back down because we're coming back down. But just to talk about it, CNBC's got a headline right now, live updated from 3 minutes ago. White House says fake news that Trump is considering 90-day pause. White House says any suggestion that Donald Trump is considering 90-day pause in tariffs is fake news. U.S. markets open sharply lower on Monday. European Union. Yeah, so that's the White House saying that there is not any talk of 90-day pause on tariffs. It's the live update. Interesting. Well, that fake news helped some of the bulls. I was one of them. Nice. Yeah, listen, get it done however you got to get it done. Again, I can't interpret this stuff, and I don't think anybody can quick enough, right, guys? It's too rapid. So let's see what happens here. Again, we are all the way back down at what I would look at as kind of a decision-making point. You know, are we going to indeed continue through this low after putting this huge push up? That is a really bearish indication. In my mind, a really bearish indication that we pushed all the way up. But this, to me, I think is just getting driven around by so much underlying comments. Market is reacting rapidly, obviously, but there's just an enormous amount of volatility. Looking at the book, this looks good for shorts. I don't have a way to structure risk on this right now. You know, stop above this high for continuation to the downside. I could see that, but we have nothing to the upside in ES now. Shouldn't say nothing. The 50 level we do. But I like this short. I like this short back down towards lows. NQ still looks like a nightmare on the book. Yeah, I could see short on this if we fill 50-50 here, and then we start to move back down. I can see that back down towards VWAP, back down through this level. We have quite a bit of orders on the book for ES. Not that much, but we got something. We got something. All the way down towards that VWAP level, so I think we got some bets that we return back towards VWAP. So here we go, trading out the 50s. A lot of orders actually coming on. Sell side at the 55s. This could get dicey up here. Got a lot of orders coming sell side right now at the 50-55s. There's like 300 on the book, but looked like we banged into it a couple times and they did not fill. There we go. Got some filling right there. Got some volume up here, as you can see on the traditional volume down on the bottom. You can also see it on Bookmap. This is going to be interesting up here. Looking at this short from up here, guys, that's my game plan. This would be the anchored. I'm trying to use some just additional points of reference here. This would be the anchored VWAP to the top of that candle, anchored volume weighted average price. I'm getting short on this, guys. I'm gonna get short 1 micro on this with a wider stop. I'm short 1 from 50.49.75. I'm only gonna run 1 for right now because I got to get up above this level. I'm not gonna take it from right there. You know, there's an opportunity to do that, but I think it's really tight on a day like today to do that. So I'm going to take it from up here and see if we can't get a move back down towards that area of high volume. I think if we come back above this high, we're chopping around, or at very least we're chopping around, if not moving higher. But I'm looking at a pullback, staying below, at least kind of these highs that we put in, retesting the top of this area of high volume, and looking to come through and fill some of these orders back down through towards VWAP. So let's see what we can do here. Again, volatile day. This can rip our faces off to the upside in 2 seconds, right? And I'll realize that loss. But I'm looking at this continuing to the downside. We already had a massive push up. We had buyers take it back higher above this. Sellers step right back in. We continued back down to this area, pushed up. I'm taking it on selling pressure to the downside. Let's see what we can do on this one. There is plenty of liquidity down below. That looks like even if we are going to move to the upside, I'd like to see that fill. We really didn't come down into it. If I look at on a 5-minute chart, we really didn't come all the way down into that area. I could see us coming and checking out all the way down here again, but we're going to be cautious here. Again, we find this bar turns bullish and we start to push to the upside. I think we're coming higher. I think we're coming back towards, volume point of control, maybe back through all these highs. This is going to be a bullish day. But right now, I'm still playing this short to the downside. Really, Bookmap helped me out on this one. Kind of looking at a move lower. 1 micro, literally 1 micro here on a 150K account. That's how we're keeping this one. Wide stop and looking for a larger movement to the downside. So that's my play here, guys. Third trade of the session. Seeing if we can't grab some profit on this one. But putting our trades on, right? Putting stuff on, to me, that makes sense. Flowing with market structure and price action to the best of my abilities, even on a very, very volatile, crazy day. But not just yet, man. Coming back towards these highs. Again, not much on the book up above. If I zoom out, we got some nice orders down below. Show you guys what I'm looking at here. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. So while we have this algorithmic stuff, sitting around it, and we're kind of climbing to the upside right now, I'm looking at these to the downside, back down towards this nice big round psychological number to go and fill. These are orders on the book, buy side. I like that. There's not much on the book to the upside. That nice big round number, that's 50 points higher, could be a problem. We traded out quite a bit here, right at the 50s, so I could see this turning and continuing. I think we start to get above that anchored VWAP to the top of that move. That would show buyers back in control and sellers really starting to give up steam to really bring this thing lower. So we'll see. Trading out the 60s. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit dicey. Just zooming out on Bookmap quite a bit. Ooh, we got some to the upside. If I zoom way out, way out, we got some order sell side. Yep, we got some volume pushing to the upside here. A lot of buy orders coming on the book right there. Yeah, but this is wild. Dom looks wild. So this could be an issue. Here we go. Coming back up on me. Not continuing to the downside. We're challenging this anchored VWAP. I got my risk structured in a spot that makes sense to me, but does not look like we are going to get continuation of sellers to the downside. At very least, we're chopping here and maybe continuing this push all the way back up to the upside here. Like we saw, we have liquidity way up here today, and we may have to go and grab that. Looks like we want to. Unless we get a really nice harsh rejection up here, I'm losing faith in this one very quickly. If we saw a really harsh rejection and sellers step right back in, that would look beautiful for the trade. We came back down through my entry. I'd be happy to hold on to this one. Stop loss is where it needs to be, but this does not look good. This does not look good. This looks like we want to pull back up on this. Yep, buyers keeping this thing higher. We got a break and retest of that anchored VWAP. I want to see us come all the way back down through it without going to grab these highs, but this doesn't look great. This does not look great. And I'll probably, I'm going to call it for myself after this one for the morning, at least in these accounts. Wait for some more structure into the afternoon, something to really pick a direction and then continue. Just not going to want to continue putting on more risk than that. If I take this stop, still well below what I want to risk per day, per trade on these. Again, trading 1 micro. Yeah, but that would put me up near the 500 bucks to the downside, and I just wouldn't keep pushing it. That would be one win, 2 losses, and I would just call it right there on 3 trades. But let's see. Let's see if we can come again. If we pull all the way back up here and come back down through these lows with some force, I would really like it. This is I don't have a ton of faith that I survive this pullback up here. Market's just too volatile. We're close to the stop. A wick back up above this level could easily be in store. Stop didn't go here because I thought that was too tight, but back above this anchored VWAP off the highs, that's showing buyers back in store, and honestly longs are looking like a play. So I'm leaving it on, but this looks like a stop out's coming. But that's part of it, man. Put the trades on, take our wins, take our losses, even on a wild day. Yeah, here we go, pushed to the upside. Trading over the 100. We got more. Looks like it wants to take it, but we'll see if we survive by the skin of our teeth. Doesn't look great. Plenty on the book to the downside. I could still see a return down here. I just can't widen a stop farther than what I have it already. Ridiculously wide as it is, 67 points here in ES, 67.5 points. But yeah, it doesn't look like I'm surviving this one. Yep, buyers continuing to take it higher. Crack above. Looks like we're going to trade the 15s. In by the skin of our teeth. And there we go. There's the stop. Yep. No continuation on the downside. Sellers not coming here and taking it lower. Breaking back up on structure to the upside. Long play out of this area would have been pretty smooth. Following this ridiculous structure, but looks like decision time, right? We came all the way back down here, checked this out. We're forming flip back down bearish on the day, and we're forming a nice little indecision candle all the way down here, looking like we wanted to continue lower, potentially. So I like that trade. That's definitely one that I'm taking every day, but just not playing nice with me today. Not playing nice with me. So on that note, I'm probably not going to take another one. I'm definitely not going to take another one in this account. I'm going to get some trading in the others just to put trading days in. I'm also managing Top Step and Tradeify accounts, but this is my straight to funded 150K with top 1 futures. Links pinned if you guys want to check that out. The new prop firm with instant funded on Project X. Interested to see where we go from here. This is gnarly. This is a gnarly day to trade, man. Fun stuff. Really fun stuff. This has been a really fun live despite ending it 493 bucks down in one account. More than happy with that. Plenty of opportunity to the downside, I think, on another day where that continues. End up very green on this one, but that's the market, man. Just got to deal with it, put our trades on, and let the probabilities play out in our favor. Gap zone. Yeah, insane. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Fun stuff. If you are new here, hop in the free Discord. Link is down below. If you haven't checked out the account that I'm on right now, the 150K straight to funded with top 1 futures, I will throw this link in here again. Again, full disclaimer, I am affiliated. I'm a partner. I stand to make money. I cannot be unbiased. Make your own decisions on this stuff. And along with that, the full disclaimer, or part of the disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm just an idiot from YouTube. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links to my content. Here we go. Turning all the way down again on this. This will be fun. I'll let you guys know how I end up into the afternoon, but I'm primarily going to be talking about the trading that I do here live with you guys. I think it's important to display live trading and really focus on that. Anything else is just talk. So in any event, guys, I will wrap it up here. Have an awesome rest of the session. Hopefully you end up greener than me or less red than me, but control risk, accept the risk you're putting on no matter what you do. Talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome rest of this Monday.